Hello, my name is Laura Tillotson and I am the Diva in Spirit, here to take you on a little journey through all things fermented and distilled, and of course all of the amazing ways to enjoy them. So last week we talked a little more in depth about the history and evolution of the martini cocktail. We learned how to make a classic martini. This week, we're going to go a little further in the martini cocktail and learn about some of the variations, most of which you're going to be able to make with ingredients that you already have on your starter home bar. We are not going to talk about the Cosmo or the French martini or the espresso martini or any of the other brightly colored, candy flavored, delightfully drinkable cocktails that bear the name teeny, because the only thing they have in common with a martini is the cocktail glass that they're served in. There are, however, countless variations of this amazing cocktail that you are going to be able to make with your home bar ingredients, so we're going to talk about those today. First of all, the most famous variation on the martini is so much a part of our standard repertoire that we don't even think of it as a variation, and that's the vodka martini. We kind of think of vodka and gin as interchangeable with the martini, but historically, as we learned last week, the base spirit of this cocktail should be gin. So by changing the base spirit, by definition, the vodka martini is a variation and not a true martini. And like all good variations, this cocktail has its own name. The vodka martini was originally called the kangaroo. I don't know why we stopped calling it that, because it's a great name for a cocktail. So right now, I'm asking all of my vodka drinkers that are watching this, let's bring back the kangaroo. The other super quick, easy variation that you can make, this changes absolutely nothing from what we did last week, except the garnish. Traditionally, your martinis are always going to be finished off with either a skewer of olives or a lemon twist, but if we drop in a nice savory cocktail onion instead, your martini becomes the Gibson, another classic cocktail. You can also, with the ingredients that we have on our starter home bar, dig into the history of that cocktail, make an original martini that uses the sweet vermouth instead of the dry vermouth. You can also literally split the difference between history and the modern era and go half and half on your vermouth with sweet and dry. This is going to give you what's called a perfect martini. So instead of a full ounce of dry, we're going to split that half ounce each of both sweet and dry. You should also probably garnish this with both a lemon twist and a single olive, but you can also do one or the other. Either way, it's going to be delicious and correct. The next variation we're going to make together, and this is one of the most famous, most iconic drinks in history. This is the James Bond Martini, aka the Vesper. So in Casino Royale, James Bond very famously orders his cocktail, demanding specifically a mix of both gin and vodka and calling on Lillet vermouth. So to make a true Vesper, we should be using Lillet. But you can, if you don't have Lillet, you can absolutely use whatever white vermouth you've got on your bar. So the ratios for this cocktail, also very specific. We are going to use 3 ounces of gin. So again, using my jigger here, which measures out a full 2 ounces, but I've got the gradients inside to measure out an ounce. So here's my 3 ounces of gin. And then we're going to use 1 ounce of vodka. And a half ounce, only a half ounce of Lillet. This is a big and strong cocktail. Bond famously said when he ordered it that he only allows himself 1 drink before dinner, so make it a big one. This is indeed going to be that. So when the book was written, the Lillet that he was referring to is actually Lillet Quina, which no longer exists. But the Lillet Blanc is very similar in style. The Lillet Dry works as well. And again, if you don't have Lillet, whatever white vermouth you've got is fine. So now we're going to add our ice to the shaker. Now here's where we are going to depart from 007's signature. because of course he likes his martinis shaken, not stirred. But as we learned last week, that's gonna destroy our gin. So we're not gonna do that. We are going to stir this beautiful cocktail. Going so it's nice and cold. And there you go. Our chilled glass. And this one should definitely be garnished with a twist of lemon. Don't want olives anywhere near this. So get your twist of lemon. I also find, I love to do a grapefruit twist in a Vesper. I think it's absolutely delicious. The grapefruit's a little bit more floral, which I think is beautiful with the Lillet. But lemon is our classic garnish. That's what we're gonna use today. Express the oils out there. And cheers. Delish. So that is our Vesper. We're also going to make today a Dirty Martini. So I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to rinse out my equipment. I'm going to maybe drink this Vesper, and we'll be right back to make a Dirty Martini. Hello and welcome back. I hope you guys paused with me to enjoy your Vespers. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about the Dirty Martini. So the Dirty Martini uses olive juice or olive brine, either in addition to or instead of your dry vermouth. I recommend no vermouth in your Dirty Martini. We're going to use that olive juice instead of the vermouth. And again, you can go with either gin or vodka. I typically recommend vodka for a Dirty Martini over gin. First of all, because juice, we're going to have to shake this. But also, if you've got good olive juice, that needs to be the shining star here. So I like to use vodka because it allows the olives to remain your front and center. So most of the time, when you go to a bar, you order your Dirty Martini, what they're going to be giving you instead of olive juice is actually olive brine. Of course, cocktail olives are resting in salt water to preserve them, and so the bartender just pours some of the olive brine into your cocktail shaker. But there, we're talking about salt water, not actually olive juice. There are a few different companies that actually make proper olive juice, actually cold pressed Spanish olives that taste like olives. So your Dirty Martini tastes like olives and not salt water. It's really delicious. My favorite one to use is 1888. If you remember from your cocktail history, 1888 was the year the Martini first appeared in a bartender's manual. So that's where they got the name for this juice. As far as I know, 1888 was actually the first of the olive juice brands to start marketing, and I know the owner and developer of this product, and he literally started making it for the express purpose of creating delicious Dirty Martinis. So that's what we're going to use today. If you are interested in purchasing this product, the website is 1888olivepress.com, and then I'll show you where you can buy it. Highly recommend picking some of this up because it's delicious. So for our Dirty Martini, we're going to go with 3 ounces. Again, you can use either gin or vodka. I'm going to go with vodka for this one because I don't want to shake my gin and I really want to taste the olive juice. So we're going to go 3 ounces. And again, with the olive juice, just like to taste for your palate, if you like just a splash of it, if you like a little bit, if you like a lot. For me, when I'm having a Dirty Martini, I like it absolutely filthy. So I'm going to use 1.5 ounces of this. Add the ice to our shaker. And again, because we are incorporating juice, actual juice, we are going to shake this. We are going to shake it vigorously and let that decadent velvety juice incorporate into our vodka. Strainer, lid, we don't want any spills. And again, just like when you're stirring, you want to wait till that frost starts to develop. Do the same thing for the shake. And when it gets nice and cold, strain that off. I mean, it just looks velvety in the glass, doesn't it? And what else would we garnish our beautiful olive martini with but some fresh Castelvetrano olives? That is absolutely delicious. Taking another sip before we go on. So these are your basic variations that you can make with your starter home bar of the martini. Next week, make sure you've got your sweet vermouth and your Campari ready to go because we are going to make Negronis. In the meantime, again, make sure that you are following me on Instagram and on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and until then, I will be with you in spirit.